This lesson is on positioning a div dynamically using JavaScript. Now, I have a silly little web page here with a few cartoon characters, and there's the statement. Which one will you pick? So let's move the pointer over here, and as we get over the image, it says, pick me, pick me. Okay, let's move down to the pineapple. Now the pineapple says to pick me, and it moved the div down by the pineapple. Over here on the olive, yep, pick me, pick me. So it keeps doing this. As I leave the image, it goes away. As I come across a new image, it comes visible again where the pointer is. This is kind of a very common interface done in a lot of web pages, so you should know how to do it. And I'm going to show you. So let's go over to the code. And here, I've done something a little bit different as I put the style information between the beginning style tag and the ending style tag right in the web page itself. In general, we've been going out to CSS files that we have in the CSS directory. But here, just to make it a little easier, I put it all in one file. Let's review this. You've seen a lot before. The position is absolute, so I'm literally telling the other parameters here where I want to see this div on the page. So it says left, 10 pixels from the left of the page, 10 pixels down from the top. It's 100 pixels wide, 20 pixels high. There's a padding of 5 pixels so the text doesn't butt right up to the edge of the division. And the background color is yellow. You saw that. And the division name, or rather I should say, the division ID is pick me. Remember the pound sign says hook up with the ID. Now here's one thing we may not have seen before, and this is the visibility attribute. It can be two things. It can be hidden or it can be visible. So it's hidden when we first open the page. You notice we didn't see any yellow thing with pick me on it. You had to bring the cursor over it to have that become visible. So this is one cool thing about JavaScript, is we can use it to dynamically change the values of these attributes, anything in styles. And we can do other things as well, but all of that gives for a very dynamic looking web page. So here's the function, but I don't want to look at the function yet. I want to go down to where the function is called. So here's the div, which is called cartoon list. We had the heading, which one will you pick? And now I've got 3 images, the cartoon dog, pineapple, and the cartoon olive. Now I have 2 new events on here. The event you've seen already is the on-click event. This is the on-mouse over event, and it's triggered whenever I bring the pointer over the image. And this is on an image tag, so these are all images. So as soon as the pointer goes over the image, this gets triggered one time only. Okay, one time as soon as it enters the image, it's going to call the function called showPickMe. And I'm passing a very special value called this. This basically refers to this, the image tag, this particular image. And we can use this information to do things that I'm going to show you in a moment. So we have here also on each one of these images, we have on mouse out, and it says hide pick me. The hide pick me function, of course, will have the code to make the yellow pick me div disappear once again. So each image has exactly the same call, show pick me this, show pick me this. By using the generic this keyword, we can know exactly which image we're talking about when we go to the function. By the way, in this division, the ID pick me, I had the heading there already, pick me. I had the text. There's no reason to make that dynamic. I just put it in there, and I make this entire div visible or hidden using JavaScript code, and I only call it when I'm on mouse over or hide it when the mouse leaves the image. Let's move up to the function. Here's the show pick me. Now I called it element, that this comes in and this is the element we're dealing with. It happens to be image elements in each time. So here we get element by ID pick me. That's the div. So we're getting the pick me div and I'm getting that into a variable. That's the pointer to the division itself. Now element, and this is a special thing, offset left. It tells me how far in pixels am I from the left of the page. The element is what we're looking to see how far it is off the left of the page. these images were just laid down on the web page one after the other. So the images are flush to the left, so that's probably 0. We could put an alert in there if we really wanted to see. So this is probably 0, and this is offset from the top. Well, from the top, the images stack up on top of one another with a little bit of spacing, because if you go again down to the code, I put 2 breaks between each image, so they weren't butted up right next to each other. So the offset top will get me how far each image is from the top of the page. That's essentially our y coordinate. Now here's what we have to do in JavaScript to change something. Pick me is the div. If I want to change a style attribute, I have to say dot style. And then I say dot which attribute I want to change. So to the right, I take x, which is probably 0, and I add 170 to it. That will place this pick me div over to the right, 170 pixels from the left of the window. Likewise, pick me style top, I'm going to have it be a little bit lower than the top of the image, because this is the image, the element. So I'm setting the div that's appearing, the yellow pick me div, it's going to be a little bit lower because I added to the y coordinate from the top of the page. So once I've done that, I've actually moved the division across the page. Now, unlike with styling code where we put colon and then the value, like we see up here, visibility colon hidden, or I could say colon visible. When I'm in JavaScript to change this, I have to say style, attribute name, and then I put the attribute value in either single quotes or double quotes. It has to be delimited. And you saw that it took effect. The hide pick me is pretty easy. I just get the element by ID on the pick me div, put it in there, pick me div style, visibility equals hidden again. That's the way it was at first, so it just goes away. So if we look real briefly once again at the page, we see nothing's there. There is a div there. There is a pick me div, but we can't see it because it's hidden. Pointer comes over, it appears. Notice how it's down a little bit lower than the top of the page because I added to the y of this element. I come down here. Likewise, it's a little bit lower, and here it's a little bit lower. But it's always kind of steady to the right because all of the images are flush up against the page. So when you add 170 to them, they're going to appear in the same place. So there you go. Pick me, pick me. That ends our lesson on positioning a div using JavaScript code.